I have this problem about motivating myself. When I was a lot younger, I had social problems. I couldn't talk to people, I couldn't communicate with people. Whenever I meet someone, I have really low confidence in myself. I feel I'm awkward in school, and people find me weird, and I only fit into a one or two friends in school. So pretty, I guess I'm a loser. But when I start growing up, I figured out that Zig Ziglar's, Anthony Robbins, Napoleon Hill, they were great motivators, and I've been following them like crazy. And it did change a small amount of my life, because I have to think optimistic. I have to be positive in order to attract good things in my life. Well, that didn't really work. For about 20 years. 20 years. I'm trying to think positive. I'm trying to be optimistic. And things didn't go my way. Then I figure out, when I sat down and figure out things, I realized that because I'm a pessimist. And people think pessimist is a bad thing. Being a pessimist is not a bad thing at all. I tell you what, after when I figure out that I was a pessimist, we always pessimist looks at problems. All right, we don't look at opportunities. So whenever we look at a problem, we'll start to get away from it. We are afraid because we always get worried. But in order to solve that problem, we will always look at a problem and try to solve it one little small steps at a time. And that helped me. I start waking up from it after when I migrated to Australia and accept myself as a pessimist. And it was hard. It was hard because when we aren't optimistic, we don't think positive, we will tend to feel depressed. So in order to distract myself, to have to see opportunities, I have to look at problems. And when I look at my problems, I try to solve them. And then when I solve one little teeny bit of problem at a time, my life not just starts to change, but I feel better. So I'm saying is, if you're a pessimist, accept it, and don't think it's a bad thing. When you solve a problem, your life gets better and everyone else gets better. This is how I started Verbatim Vibes, to build digital branding and online presence. It started out by just solving one problem at a time. I couldn't find a job. It was hard for me and I feel very depressed. So I said, I have to do something. So I met some Australians, businessmen, and they need some help. So I said, why not? I'll work for free. So I worked, I figure out things, and I try to solve each problem one step at a time. So somehow it led me to website design. So when I look at a website, I figure out, okay, I want to build one. And when I start building one, then I figure out, oh, how am I going to host it? Then I figure out about the hosting. Oh, why is this hosting as problem? Then I have to figure out about fixing up that hosting problem. Then the next will be emails, and then followed by videos. And I say, okay, I'll look for someone who does video. And then it was expensive, 1,000 to 2,000 per video for 5 minutes. And I said, why not I do it for you? So I did. I started with my mobile phones, and then it was terrible, but at least it gets something worked out. Then I decided to invest in a nice camera for video shooting. And the next thing you know, I was into event photography. So I went into event photography, and they said, oh, we don't have a photographer. I brought a photographer for the event, but he was late and it was bad. And I said, all right, I guess I'll just figure out. So I took my camera and take some pictures, and oh my gosh, it's terrible. So I decided to get a flash. And then I get a flash, and then I have to figure out everything, the manual stuff, because I've been using automatic. So I tried manual, and then eventually I'm pretty okay in flash. And I've been all right at taking pictures. I may not be a pro, but I'm getting the hang of it. And then next comments, oh, the photos are not that good enough. All right, I'll use a digital software to improve the photos, and with raw. And it's amazing. And you could even use the photos and make it look nicer with higher saturation or higher exposure and all that stuff. And the next thing I know, oh, you have I need a flyer. I say, oh, but you could get other flyers there. And then I look at certain flyers. Okay, oh, this is different. We want to improve that flyer. So I take a look at someone else's flyer and try and figure it out as well. And then the next thing is billboards, and then I end up in graphic design. So isn't that cool? All I'm saying is, if you look at our problems and try to solve it, you eventually lead to building your skill sets, and it becomes a business for you. And until now, I'm telling you, I'm still learning new skills. There is one that I did for a lighting company, an e-display, a big display. It's an Android-based display, and I said, let me figure it out. So I went over there, I figured it out, and now I could even fix up the e-displays with all the pictures for the slides, and because they need the slides, right? I have to figure out with a graphic software to have all those pictures in and make sure the text is cool and nice, and then I need to upload it, and then it's learning is endless. I don't just figure out things. I also learn from the business people that I work with. So I'm just saying that if you're a pessimist, life is possible. You don't have to. Yeah, goals is really hard. I when I write my goals, I don't move toward it. I tend to be very driven with problems. So if you are always worried about problems and it keeps you wary, remember, problem solving solves the problem. That's all. All right. If you guys are interested in learning about digital branding, or if you need help for any SEO work or websites, keep in touch with me. Give me a call, or probably message me in Facebook or LinkedIn or TikTok or wherever I post a video, because I would like to not only just make friends with you, I would probably learn from you as well. Let's share knowledge. All right. See you guys.